Welcome back to Menopause, and Miracles, the podcast where midlife women explore what it means to stay connected to their bodies, their relationships, themselves, and everything as it begins to shift. This is a space for conversations about presence, repair, and the overlooked strength that comes from being deeply met. And welcome to anyone who's listening for the first time. I am so happy that you're here. Here we talk about men, hormones, muscle, nourishment, beauty, and the relational changes that surface when familiar patterns stop working. And you're invited to listen more carefully to your body, your emotions, and the people around you. I'm Suzanne, your host and your midlife wingwoman, and I'm here with you as you move through this season, offering perspective, steadiness, and a little backup when things feel uncertain. Let this episode reconnect with you what's been muted or missed and present opportunities to choose ways of relating to yourself and others that reflect who you are becoming now. This podcast is a place for women in midlife who are ready to take their resilience that they've built and put it towards more meaningful connection, trust what they feel as much as they know, and step into this season with awareness, steadiness, and intention. This is episode 40, The Miracle of Connection. So, can you believe it? It's March already. The things like Grammys, Super Bowl, and Winter Olympics done. And we're on to, what is it? March Madness, St. Patty's Day, Daylight Savings next Sunday. Oh my. And I'm having one of those bad midlife in menopause kind of hair days. So, any women relate today on this Monday? Oh, goodness. Well, today we are talking about miracles, not the kind with spotlights or smoke, but the kind that happen quietly, often when no one is watching. We're talking about the miracle of connection. Those moments when being seen, heard, or met changes something inside of us, sometimes without us even realizing at first. I want to talk about connection today because midlife isn't just a physical transition, it is a relational one. Your body is changing, your needs are changing, and the ways you've learned to push through or stay quiet stop working. And connection what helps you listen more clearly, respond more honestly, and feel supported instead of stranded while you recalibrate. As your midlife wing woman, I care about connection because it's not just a luxury. It is how we steady ourselves, strengthen our bodies, and remember we are not meant to navigate this season alone. So, why this matters and seems to be a miracle these days is what I personally feel: the lack of it, the lack of connection. But don't just take my word for it. The U.S. Surgeon General declared loneliness a public health epidemic in 2023, an actual epidemic. And that was not too long ago, affecting over 50% of adults. To me, that is 50% too many, with younger people and marginalized groups being hit the hardest. And what is loneliness? Well, it's a negative emotional state resulting from a perceived gap between desired and actual social connections, but rather than what we think of loneliness of just being physically alone. So you can be in a house with roommates or a family and still have feelings of being isolated, misunderstood, or lacking meaningful relationships, aka loneliness, but really, in short, a lack of real connection. And whether it's driven by technology, remote work, the pandemic, post pandemic, or reduced community involvement, it's not healthy emotionally, mentally, or even physically. Think about it. Today, people rarely pick up the phone and prefer texting. Text messages have taken over as the main messenger for sometimes family events or gatherings as far as notification. Whether you may have received in the past an email, an evite, remember those digital invitations, or some time ago, an actual paper invitation in the mail. Even birthday wishes are sometimes sent via text to those closest to us versus a call or a card sometimes. So, a connection miracle happens when a bond, human, spiritual, or even, yes, today, technological, creates healing, repair, or meaning where there was or is distance or pain. And this bond it has transformative power because such moments can often feel supernatural. So let's take a look at some key facets of a connection miracle and kind of bring some clarity here. Number one would be a great example is just the power of attention. Simply paying deep, undivided attention to someone can be a miracle that fosters a sense of spiritual home and unity. And it's rare and it's powerful. I mean, when was the last time you gave someone your undivided attention? Or you were on the receiving end of it, where you or they, you weren't in your head or ready to cut them off or interrupt them in the middle of a conversation, thinking of what you wanted to say next. When someone listened to you, right, without that interruption, without advice, without problem solving or some kind of escape hatch, oh, gotta go, I'm too busy. This type of connection provides a sense of safety, of being home with another person. Your nervous system feels grounded. Healing and support. These connections can act as buffers during difficult times, significantly boosting your physical or mental well-being. So they don't necessarily erase hardships, but they help. And when you might need this type of connection, you might be going through a relationship shift, navigating menopause. We all know we need connection there, grief, aging bodies, or simply a small midlife identity crisis moment. So sometimes healing isn't about getting better, and it's just like not about having, can't believe I just said like, but I did. It's not about having to carry whatever you are carrying alone. And you know how I love to drop reminders to ask for help and develop your own support circle. So yes, healing and getting support and asking for help. We'll always be putting that out there. Another way of this connection is through spiritual or meaning based connection. So, originally rooted in faith or unusual miracles through the early church, but keep this area of connection spacious. There's no pressure, no preaching here. It can still mean faith for some. For others, it could be meaning through nature or the mystery of the stars. Some people call it God, some people call it grace. What matters is the felt sense of being met here by something larger than yourself. I love that. And then there are connections that are soul ties, and where discernment is needed because not all connections heal. Good little reminder, there are relationships that drain, a toxic work environment or boss, or staying connected to someone or something without any boundaries, learning how to loosen ties without keeping bitterness or resentment here. So, deep emotional or spiritual bonds, yes, they can be positive and energizing, but there are also bonds that are toxic and require careful navigation. So, trust your gut when it tells you there's a healthy connection available and when it tells you there is one that is not. And lastly, yes, technology as a bridge to connection. Technology is here to stay, right? So, moments where technology facilitates some form of connection can be listening. There's so many apps these days, right? Meditation via an app. There are faith-based apps. Maybe getting that notification that you got the job or that your child got home safely. You feel a sense of excitement or that peace or relief, right? So it's not all bad. And let's just explore how to experience or create connection miracles. You can be present. Just offer genuine presence to others in moments of need. Offer it to yourself. Practice or start a simple practice in the mornings or the evenings where you put the phone out of reach, breathe, and stay still, maybe just for 5 minutes to slow things down and listen to your heart for the day and what does it say. You can have the connection through small acts of kindness. Simple acts like a smile or holding a door can start a chain reaction of positive, miraculous mini connections. And remember the details of a loved one. Connection miracles don't require grand gestures. They require consistency. I mean the thoughtfulness, when someone remembers, I don't know, a restaurant you like, a color you like, a song you like, and just connecting with you in that way kind of gives you a little feel good, right? You can cultivate self connection. So, just developing a deeper relationship or initiating one with yourself is a key to fostering a healthier, more profound connections with others. So, you notice your own emotions, your own fatigue, your own need for care. I call that filling your cup. Then it is easier to fill or to help others, right? It's really hard to pour out of an empty cup. So if you're drained, you've got no more to give, then, that's some sure signs to check in with yourself, maybe once a day or once a week to ask yourself how you're doing and notice if anything's out of balance or anything's calling to you, right? Of what you just feel that you need. Embrace vulnerability, opening up to the possibility of divine intervention or connection and love can make you more receptive to having these experiences. So, just being open and curious. Connection miracles often require us to stop armoring us up long enough to receive. So, for all my givers out there, good at giving, but you also have to be open to receiving. So if you're not, I love to say how one does everything is how they do anything, or vice versa. How one does anything is how they do everything. So if you're always in giving mode and you're not receiving, you know, practice that this week, maybe this month, just the act of receiving a smile from a stranger, sunlight on your face, I don't know, laughter from your best friend or your niece or nephew. Just be open to receiving on your end the act of some good connection there. If there's a miracle waiting for you, it may not come from doing more. It may come from paying closer attention. So to yourself, to someone else, to the moment that you're in right now, in presence. So, where in your life might connection, not control, be the thing that changes everything? My friend asked me recently what I was doing for self care, AKA connecting with myself. And I kind of skipped over it because I wasn't really doing anything in this area. And I've been in a start of the year mode, getting things done, goal focused, what I like to call to do mode. And I really needed to ask myself, where was I making room for joy, for curiosity, adventure, laughter, wandering, one of my favorite things to do, and connection with myself or with others, getting out of my head, my house, and into my heart and engaging with people, places, and things for connection. So let me lead you in a little guided reflection today. If it feels comfortable, take a moment here. You don't need to change your breath. Just notice it. Bring to mind a moment, recent or long past, when you felt generally met by someone. Not fixed, not advised, just seen. Notice where your body responds as you remember this event, this scenario, this feeling. There may be warmth, softness, maybe nothing at all, but whatever shows up is enough. And I think sometimes if we're lacking connection, we may even begin to forget what it feels like. So I hope going through this, remembering, if nothing's coming up for you, maybe do it another time this week and just, take those few minutes to be still and really try to remember how you connected with someone in the past. When if nothing comes up, look for proof this week and maybe write it down. Um, maybe just take a moment to feel it in your heart. Yeah. So if nothing's coming up, just be easy on yourself and look for things that do this week. And so I want you to gently shift your attention to yourself and ask yourself quietly, where might I be needing connection right now? Some area of yourself, some area of your life, your world, your relationships. Not improvement, not effort, just contact. You don't have to answer, just let the question rest. And finally, again, consider one small way connection could be invited into your week, a pause instead of a push, maybe a message sent, a moment of honest attention, offered or received. Take one more breath, and when you're ready, Ah, come back to carry with you the reminder that, again, connection doesn't require perfection, only your presence. So, this is why connection matters to me, not because it fixes everything, but it's because it changes how we experience what we are already carrying as women or what we're letting go of in this season. And sometimes that shift is enough to make this season feel a little more possible, maybe more beautiful, more enjoyable, and less alone. Connection allows us to have shared experiences and to be known to one another. It's about allowing support in your life where it actually matters. So, thank you for being here today. If today's conversation opened up for you a new way of thinking about connection with your body, your hormones, or the relationships that shape this season, make sure to like, subscribe, or follow so you don't miss what's next. New episodes drop every Monday. And if someone you care about is moving through midlife and could use a reminder that they don't have to navigate it alone, connect with them and consider sharing this episode with them. Sometimes a story, a pause, or a shared listen is its own form of connection, arriving exactly when it's needed. I'm Suzanne, your midlife wingwoman, and this is Men, Menopause, and Miracles. I will see you next Monday. And until then, take care, stay connected, and bye for now.